Yeah, I know what some of you are thinking. The reason why I put that at the start of the video, and the reason why I asked that on Twitter is because some of you are, probably thinking, Boba, you said last time was the last time you're probably going to speak about Batwoman. And yeah, that was kind of the case, unless something significant came up, and here we are. But yeah, Bruce Wayne, sort of Bruce Wayne, basically Bruce Wayne, because, you know, essentially last night in the Batwoman finale, everybody, just in case you've been living under a rock and you didn't see this, if you're an Arrowverse fan, you should have heard about this. Bruce Wayne's look has been revealed for the Arrowverse. So, like, the person who has been revealed here, playing this character, who is Warren Christie, will technically, if they ever do Batman in the future or Bruce Wayne, like Titans has done Bruce Wayne, will be the Bruce Wayne. And that's a huge deal. So I want to talk about it, take the opportunity to discuss it in today's video. But also, I'm going to just, whilst we're at it, give my thoughts on Batwoman, because I also took the opportunity to watch the recent episodes. And I have some interesting thoughts that some of you Batwoman fans might want to hear. Maybe not, maybe I've annoyed some of you too much with my opinion, but yeah, let's get into this, guys, because I've got things to say. Before I give my opinion, I think I should take this opportunity to read out what the showrunners had to say about Bruce Wayne, or the look of Bruce Wayne. I'll just leave it to that, and then I'll give my thoughts based on it, and then based off the Hush stuff as well. Also, at the end, I didn't mention I'll give my thoughts on Hush in general and the episode, even though I said that a second ago, and maybe I'll even talk about the Joker thing as well, because a lot of you were asking me my thoughts on the Joker death as well. So to give more context to last night's reveal, which some of you guys may be looking for, you may have not heard this. This is from Decider. I will leave the link to this article down in the description. They asked Caroline Dries, I do not know how to pronounce her second name. Let's jump into the episode itself. As you mentioned, there's a huge cliffhanger at the end, and we see Warren Christie is Tommy Elliott's new face. But the bigger deal, in my mind, is that this is the first time we've seen Bruce Wayne's face at all in the Arrowverse. So when you were casting Christie, were you looking at him mostly as the new Hush, or were you trying to cast Batman as well? And Caroline responds, yeah, we kind of had, first and foremost, it's like, well, who's Bruce Wayne? Because he has to look exactly like him, so we needed to cast a Bruce Wayne. Then the sort of secondary requirement, apart from obviously being a great actor, is, does he sort of physically resemble what Tommy Elliott's body would look like? And so we needed to find somebody who was the same size, height-wise and body-wise, so that's sort of like a secondary thing, but it worked out with Warren too. But the fact of the matter is, I would have made any allowance in my mind. Once I saw Warren Christie's name on the list, I was like, okay, this feels like who our Bruce Wayne would be. And then decided to go on to ask another question, which I wanted to pull out. There's lots of other things they go on to into the episode, but this is the main stuff about Batman-esque stuff. What does he bring to the show? What does Christie bring to the table, both as Bruce Wayne and Hush? Well, the actor, so far we've only seen him act as Hush. He hasn't been Bruce Wayne yet. So what the actual actor brings to the table is this ability to switch on and off. That's a really difficult thing to do within a scene, and basically play two characters at once. He's incredibly talented in that regard. And then the actual character of Bruce Wayne, or who we think is Bruce Wayne, is gonna sort of need to be incredibly cunning and savvy as he comes face to face with these people who know him intimately. So Tommy needs to be a good actor himself. So interesting comments there. I'll dive into all of that, just, you know, with everything I have to discuss with this. So my immediate response to this, my immediate response was, wow. Like, I think my jaw was hanging when this all exploded on Twitter. I don't mind it, really, because, well, the thing is, I don't know anything about Warren Christie. He looks like Bruce Wayne, period. I can't argue with that. I don't have a problem with that. But how do I feel about the CW doing Bruce Wayne? That's the thing. That's the question I keep hearing. And I think this is where I want to set the record straight for a lot of people. Obviously, I'm not in the writer's room, so I can't definitively say this. So I can't even set the record straight. I don't even know what I'm on about there. But in my opinion, this isn't the CW doing Bruce Wayne in a way, while it is at the same time. Because lots of people are coming to me and saying, and I'm sure you've heard it as well, oh, this might actually mean Batman in Season 2, or Bruce Wayne in Season 2. Yes and no, or maybe. This is going to be a bit hard to follow, but stick with me here. Obviously, I have opinions about the CW. I love certain things. I love The Flash. I actually enjoyed recently Batwoman. can you believe it? We'll get into that. Stick around for that at the end of this video. If they've cast the actor who is the Arrowverse's Bruce Wayne, then that's kind of danger zone, is it not? Because, you know, they could either completely screw it up, or they could do a kind of good job, or somewhere in between, which is still kind of, even if it's in between and mediocre, that's an injustice to Bruce Wayne. So, you know, to such a big Batman fan such as myself, and, you know, not liking what Batwoman has done for the majority of it, obviously some of you can understand my apprehension. Even though some of you may be fans of the show, I'm sure you can still understand where I'm coming from there. Having said that though, guys, this isn't Bruce Wayne. This is Tommy Elliot. This is Hush. He's going to be pretending to be him. Batman is still very much missing. So with that in mind, I actually really don't feel like I mind, at least for now, unless I see an episode and I really hate what they're doing with Tommy Elliot pretending to be Hush. Let's say 3 episodes in season 2, that when I've watched that, I'm like, oh my god, what have they done? I will be like, okay. But for now, since this isn't really the real Bruce, I'm fine with it. Even though they've cast a face, I think that's actually cool to a degree, because, you know, beforehand, I remember years ago talking, oh my god, you remember when Oliver Queen was talking about Bruce Wayne at that press conference? I would have said back then, definitely, oh wow, I would have loved to have seen a Bruce Wayne in the Arrowverse. So the fact that they've cast somebody who really looks like Bruce Wayne is cool. As far as his acting, I can't really speak to that. I've heard somewhat good things, you know, I suppose, so I'm not going to judge there. If anything, I'm ready to go in for that experience, even though this is, as Caroline said there, this is the interesting thing, and why I wanted to pull up that article, is because this is Tommy Elliot acting as, you know, one of his when he was younger, his best friends, of who he knows him very well. And if you know a bit about Hush, I'm sure he will be able to pull it off. And I actually am looking forward to this plot, believe it or not. And I emphasize the whole believe it or not thing because, as some of you know, if you've watched my previous Batwoman reviews, I haven't been too excited for Batwoman, and I haven't really been so on board with it a lot of the time. So for me to say that this is actually quite an exciting plot, because Hush acting, because he's not going to be in bandages anymore, and I've got my whole opinion about that in the past couple of episodes and stuff like that, but it's going to be Warren Christie playing Bruce Wayne, playing Tommy Elliot acting as Bruce Wayne. You know what I mean? That's going to be the interesting element of it, and I think that will provide for an interesting story, because Gotham's going to react to, quite literally, Bruce Wayne coming back. This is going to surprise Kane. Obviously, it's going to be even more interesting because Tommy Elliot knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman, so he's going to, like, to Kate, they will probably believe initially that Bruce Wayne is Bruce Wayne and return to Gotham. And also, on another funny note, I can't confirm this, but I'm pretty sure Warren Christie has been in the earlier season of Arrow. So, like, technically, pre-crisis, Oliver Queen's friend, I think it was like a doctor or something, was really Bruce Wayne in disguise. He must have heard about this other vigilante in Star City and was just like, I'm gonna go check him out and pretend to be a doctor. Yeah, I'm just joking, but obviously it's kind of funny that, you know, I don't think it's the first time an Arrowverse actor has played something in one show and then, you know, turns out to be someone else in another show because they had such a small role previously. But as to the rumors or people speculating about now will Batman come to the show, I really don't think so. I really don't think so, because you have to remember this whole premise of this show is about Batwoman being Gotham's savior because Batman is missing. So if he was to return as Batman, let me put it this way. Like, yes, you could argue there could still be a show, but, you know, let me compare it to Supergirl. I mean, I feel like this is a good comparison. Supergirl is in National City. Superman is in Metropolis. The reason why that kind of works in a way, like the show's still going, even though we've seen Tyler Heckler now and everything like that, is because we don't have Superman flying around in National City. Like, they're not in the same city. So it's fine that we have both of those characters in the Arrowverse, because, you know, when we watch Supergirl, she's in her own city doing her own thing in her own episodes, and whilst Clark is off in a whole other city. So with Batwoman sharing the same city as Batman, that's why we're not going to see Warren Christie, in my opinion at least. I'll eat my words if I'm ever wrong and they do this in season 3 or even season 2, which I really don't think they're going to do. If he returns back and he's just patrolling the streets and Batwoman is, but you just never see Batman for some reason, that's not going to happen. I'm telling you now, it's not going to happen. I'm really certain of that. What they can do, though, is what Titans did with Ian Glenn. For those of you who have watched Titans, or for those of you who haven't, they did do Bruce Wayne in Titans season 2. They did not do Batman. There were rumors about that. They may have actually intended to go there, but they actually just did the character of Bruce Wayne, which is obviously so different from in terms of like Warner Brothers letting TV shows use the character of Batman. You know, if you're just using Bruce Wayne, they might bend a little bit of flexibility there. So that's what they did with Titans. But with Batwoman, it's even more different because he's not even really credited as Bruce Wayne because this is Tommy Elliott. However, yeah, sure, like he is the face of Bruce Wayne in the Arrowverse now, and that's what the interesting discussion is here in the first place. So bottom line here with the Bruce Wayne stuff, I don't really mind it. I don't necessarily think Batman is going to come to the show at all. I think it's entirely possible that Bruce Wayne can come back, but even then, I'm not sure if Bruce Wayne the real Bruce Wayne, played by Warren in a future season, would come back, just because why wouldn't he protect the city? But to be honest with you, and this isn't throwing shade, I wouldn't be surprised if the CW or the Batwoman show did bring back in Bruce Wayne, but he was just like, and he was played by Warren Christie, whether this is like towards the end of season 2 or was season 3, if you're imagining this, and he's like, you know what, I'm back now, I might be around here, there, and everywhere, but I'm not going to put on the suit again. You've done a good job, and I want you to carry on doing it, you know, and this is like this whole moment between Kate and Bruce, and like she's really happy that she's got his recognition and approval, but that just wouldn't be character accurate of Bruce Wayne. I get where they would be coming from, but no, like he would also suit up. Like that's my opinion. I'm sure lots of other Batman fans would agree. But, you know, at least in my mind, I think this opens up an option if they want to close off the show one day. Bruce Wayne can return and they've got the actor for it. I really think for now, at least preliminary kind of thinking, this is just going to be the Tommy Elliott looking like Bruce Wayne storyline. He's going to get arrested and that will be it. And then one day they can then use Warren again. And I'm sure they've already spoke about that. He's probably said, yeah, sure, I'll do that if you ever need me again for the real Bruce. And yeah, then that's probably it. Let's move on to what I think about recent Batwoman, because I watched the episodes that I missed out on, which I think was like the last 4. So I literally watched the last 4 with the finale, which, you know, the finale was my least favorite, believe it or not, but it was probably like the best cliffhanger. But the previous episodes were probably some of the best of the season. And if every episode of Batwoman was like that, then that it would have been like a solid foundation for the show. And I'm actually agreeing with people now that I think I said this in my review last time, that Batwoman has improved post-crisis, but not enough for me to have been really interested in it, and I was kind of done with the show. But I would say where people were saying the back half of Batwoman is better than the first half, I would say also the back half of the back half is better as well, because like, for example, I didn't even know which episode James Bamford directed, but I knew it was coming up, and the second I saw that fighting scene, I knew what it was, and that episode was really, like the action in that episode was really cool. Like it was really great, and I think the episode after that had some awesome action in it as well with Kate in Arkham, and there was like slow-mo scenes where the prisoners were breaking out, like all of this stuff. I was actually enjoying watching it. Not that that's impossible, and not that I haven't enjoyed watching Batwoman in the past, because you guys know I have with a couple of episodes, but most of the time it was a lot of eye rolling and some cringe. But this is something I've written down on a bullet point or two, that I didn't cringe much really at all. Like maybe once I rolled my eyes, but like other than that, I thought, okay, this is all really interesting. Like I've always liked Luke. Obviously he's had quite an interesting character arc. I haven't really had anything truly against Mary. I've just never really, I felt like it was a bit too much of a CWE kind of character, and that might not make sense to some of you, but it was just a bit too much comedic relief in certain scenes with her, to the point of where it really took it out for me. But like I've come around on her character now, where she's obviously become a part of the team, and I'm actually really starting to warm to her. Now, as for Hush, I really didn't like the way they did Tommy Elliott at the beginning of this season. However, I enjoyed where the character went in the last 4 episodes. However, I'm not a big fan of the costume. I don't get like that whole bandage. I mean, obviously it is comic book accurate to a degree, like the actual representation of it, but the way they went about it, the bandages were like a mask. Like, I mean, I get why they may be doing it that way because of practical reasons, but it's just, I wish they did it like Doom Patrol, whilst those I think aren't actually bandaged on every time. It's a lot more skin tight to the stunt double's face under Larry Traynor, or Negative Man if you've watched Doom Patrol. And I'm sure I'm showing a photo on screen right now, but with what they did with Hush and Tommy Elliott in Batwoman is like they made some kind of sculpt and he just puts it on and you can really tell that. But other than that, you know, I actually quite enjoyed it. They kind of went a different route, but I have no issue with that because I always say that these are adaptations and they tread new ground. And what I mean by that is that obviously Tommy Elliott wasn't the whole surgeon of, you know, doing it himself. It was Alice making the faces, which tied nicely into that. And honestly, guys, it was pleasantly surprising. It really, really was pleasantly surprising. And for sure, I'll probably be doing some Batwoman videos, at least at the beginning of season 2, just because I really want to do a breakdown or two on this Tommy Elliott Bruce Wayne storyline. That's going to be interesting. I think it will just be a little arc. It won't go too far. I'll be very surprised if they do that, to be honest. And let me give a bit more context to that. When I say I enjoy it, I don't find this show like, oh my god, like, Boba, you just keep flipping like a yo-yo. And that is kind of true. I do like go up and down with how I feel about Batwoman, obviously, but I'm not trying to say that this is my favorite CW show or anything like that, but I do want to give it the credit that it did do very well in the very final episodes of the season, even though that finale was, I don't know, that character who was running around with the swords reminded me of the Money Gun, the Flash, if you guys remember in, like, was it season 4? I don't know. That's a whole other thing I can get into. I am not a fan. I have to say this as well. I mean, everyone probably has different opinions on this. Let me know if you agree. I don't like that the bat suit is can be pierced by kryptonite. Like, since when has Batman been Superman? That's what it feels like. I do get it. You could argue, oh, it's an alien rock, so maybe it has the properties to pierce a suit. I'm fine with that explanation in a way, but not a big fan of that. You know, Batman's always been the one with kryptonite infused suits, and sure, you could still make that, but like the fact that his suit could be pierced by it just seems, I don't know, silly to me. I get they were trying to come up with something new. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of that. I really appreciated other little Easter eggs. For example, there was some teasers of Ra's al Ghul in Lucius Fox's diary and Batman putting on this suit that made him angry. I can't remember what it was called, but all of that was really awesome. And if you think about it, that was the same Ra's al Ghul who Oliver faced up against in Arrow. So like Batman, Bruce Wayne had already had a thing with Ra's al Ghul before Oliver did, I'm sure. And they were talking about before the resurrection of Ra's al Ghul, and maybe I'm showing a screenshot on screen. I mean, you've seen the episode, I'm sure maybe some of you saw that. But yeah, the kryptonite stuff, not a huge fan of it. And I know lots of people saying this. Why did Lucius Fox say, like, right there, you're looking at, like, the only piece of kryptonite in the world that can kill you, or, like, the only piece there is. And it's like, doesn't the DEO, I haven't watched Supergirl in a while, so I could be wrong about this. I bet the DEO has something. Or like Lex Luthor. Like, there is definitely kryptonite out there somewhere. So that is not the only piece. I don't know why they said. I mean, I know Kate had another piece, but just thought I'd mention that. However, ladies and gentlemen, I should have mentioned this earlier, I guess, when I was speaking about Bruce Wayne. I wasn't a fan of the Joker thing. Everyone will have different opinions here, of course, but and trust me, I know they've shown Batman killing before in various iterations, and just to be clear, I'm not okay with that as well. Like, obviously, in the comic books, that has been kind of, he's bent the line, and in some iterations, obviously, you know, he has gone there, but the consistent thing with Batman, any Batman fan will notice, is that he does have that code, and obviously, he doesn't want to go there, because that goes against everything he stands for, you know, in terms of, it makes him just as worse as the criminal who killed his parents. So, out of all the times he's restrained to kill people, the Joker, that's the one example. Like, that's like the worst example. If Batman was to kill anyone, it wouldn't be the Joker, because he's the, like, personification. He's like the beacon or example of a villain he wouldn't kill, because he's the one who always taunts him and taunts him and taunts him. And sure, you could flip this on the other side, saying, well, precisely that, Boba, because he's the one who antagonizes him the most, so he would be the one he kills. But he's always the example of Batman's moral compass here. Even somebody as crazy as the Joker, he locks away again and again and again. And I'm sorry to the people who are saying they didn't actually say he killed the Joker. Like, it is so clear. Don't try and go in that defense zone. Don't do it. Like, I'm paraphrasing here, but Luke Fox says, after Kate said what she said, you think you're the only one to break Batman's code or something? And then she's like, what? You know, why do you think the Joker isn't around anymore, Kate? You know, Bruce has been there. Like, sorry, that response to Kate killing someone and then tying that to Bruce, why do you think the Joker isn't around? Well, he's not chilling in some hellhole on Lian Yu or something. He's dead. Bruce killed him. There's no way around what Lucius Fox said. Yes, it wasn't said outright, but if you're looking at any other corner for the Joker still being alive. That is not the case. And if they actually went back on that, then that whole scene was stupid, more stupid than what it already was, in my opinion. But I'm telling you now, it couldn't have been more clear with the conversation they had between each other that the Joker is dead. And yeah, the reason why I'm not happy with it is because of what I just said. I know they were never going to use the Joker anyway. That's not where I'm coming from with my displeasure at hearing this. But they could have just had him locked up in Arkham. I know you could say he could break out, but why isn't Riddler or Penguin or Freeze or Nigma or Ivy broken out? Because they can't use those characters. So like, why didn't they just keep it that way? I think the show having Kate relate to Bruce because he's gone there as well by killing his arch nemesis, whilst they get what they were doing, it was seriously to the detriment of it. But either way, you know, to get out of a bit of that negativity, yeah, I actually enjoyed the last 3 episodes because the story got a lot more interesting. It really, really did. Alice was awesome as usual. I was actually sad to see Mouse go. Never thought I'd say that. Not that I had anything against him, really. I just wasn't mega into his character at the beginning, but I actually liked his arc throughout because he was getting more and more triggered by Alice. And eventually he was like, right, I'm going. I guess this finalizes the video because I don't think I have anything more to talk about. So yeah, maybe some of you will be happy to hear this. Some of you might not be with certain opinions. I don't know. Either way, all opinions are welcome down in the comments below because I read all of your comments. I would love to see what you think about the Bruce Wayne news. Let me know what you think about what I've said about all of these different things. Also, of course, I would love to hear what you think about how Hush was, what you thought about the kryptonite piercing the suit, and what you think about the Joker being killed by Batman. But yeah, this has been a long video. I didn't plan to make this one that long, but I suppose it's been a while since I spoke about Batwoman, so I hope all you guys enjoyed this. Hope I didn't trigger anyone. Probably someone out there is like, baby, you bastard! What were you doing? How dare you? How dare you? By the way, guys, if you're still here, and especially if you got this far, click the like button. Only takes literally a second of your time, whether you're on a little trackpad or you've got a mouse. This is a weird mouse, but you use the mouse and click it. You could have done it by the time I literally just did that. Subscribe, I'd really appreciate that, especially if you're enjoying these videos. Check out my Stargirl review. I've reviewed 3 episodes, that's 3. Non-spoiler, but I've also just now done a breakdown on the first episode. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.